everybody, it's me, Jill, and welcome to Jill Informed. This is the recap of The Real Housewives of New York City, Season 11, Episode 6, Sleeping with the Fishes. All right, we're in the Berkshires, so of course I have 12 pages of notes. So we need to get into it right now. The show opens at Bluestone Manor. I really do want to stay there sometime. I wish she would open it as an inn to the public. Could you imagine how much fun that would be? Just like getting a group of people together to stay, have a murder mystery dinner, have the naked chef, take pictures of yourself in the fish room. God, it would be fun. Oh, I should backtrack. We are actually still in that restaurant, and if you recall, Luann has walked away. Well, I was right. She went to the bathroom, but she also stopped and asked the concierge guy if they had any rooms available because she wanted to spend the night at the Wheatley. She comes back to the table. Now she says, "I just had such a bad experience. I woke up out of my mind in that fish room, and I just thought you would be more sensitive to that." And Dorinda's like, "Okay, I never thought of that. I'm sorry." Oh, shoot, let me back up again. Before Luann came back to the table, Ramona said, "I think you should give that room to Lou. You're saving it for Bethany? What does she need it for?" "Well, she's going through a horrible time." "How horrible could it be? She's in Boston with another man." Oh, God. Classic Ramona. You are just recovering from having stepped in it when you guys were in the Hamptons. Remember when you wondered how good of an advisor Dennis could have been if he was a drug addict? Yeah, you're just getting off that little gem, and you're on to this. Just in case it isn't clear to everyone at home, in real life, I would never be friends with these women. They are the worst. But as a viewer of the show, I'm living for the fact that Ramona doesn't learn from her mistakes. The excitement of not knowing what horrible thing is going to come out of her mouth next, that just adds to the entertainment factor for me. Okay, now going forward, Luann's back at the table. Luann tells Dorinda that being back in that room, I was wasted out of my mind, and it's just bringing back horrible memories for me. So Dorinda said, "Yeah, okay, I didn't think of that, and we'll put you somewhere else." And she goes, "I'm getting a room here." And everyone's like, no, you have to stay. No, we all want to be together. And Tinsley's like, "Listen, you're going to stay in my room. And if you're angry because of intention, then just know that Dorinda's intention was for you to stay in the room I'm in. So we're all good. I'm moving out of that room. You stay in my room." So she agrees to come back to Bluestone Manor with everybody. To the confession cam, Tinsley's like, "I don't think for a second that Luann is triggered by the fish room. That's just an excuse she's using so that she doesn't have to stay in that room." I hear you, Tinsley, and I'm with you. Totally. So now they are back at Bluestone Manor, and poor Tinsley has to rush around repacking her stuff to move to another room. And side note, look at Tinsley's shoes. Those look an awful lot like the shoes that Topper's new wife created. Plus, you guys know they were a gift from Dale, right? The idea that Tinsley's wearing them, though, is what I can't get over. I know she's 43 or whatever. She's so under Dale's thumb. It's crazy. And that dysfunctional relationship is so good for the show. Okay, so now Luann is in the Moroccan room, which is the room that Dorinda had intended her to be in all along. And Tinsley had moved to that other guest room that I thought was very pretty. It has I don't know if it's wallpaper or it just has these giant gold fleur-de-lis on the wall, and I thought it was a pretty room. So my question is this: why couldn't Luann have been in that room? I don't get it. But in any case, guess who the new occupant of the fish room is? Barbara Kay. Yeah. I don't exactly know why I'm not taking to her. I really don't. All I can say is my first reaction was negative for whatever. That was just a gut thing. To be fair, I have no concrete reason not to like her. This is not like a John Pedestrian situation where I could go on and on about what a sleazeball that guy is. Let's not forget when Kristen Tateman was on that season, and he was grinding up behind her at some function, and the way he leers at the other women, or the time that he looked Carol up and down and said, "Nice skirt," when she had that little leather mini skirt on. That was at the wedding party for Luann and Tom. There were a bunch of times that he was just sleazy and disgusting. He also got in a huge giant fight with Bethany. He's vile and disgusting. So my opinion of him was formed after I saw his horrible behavior. Barbara Kay does not deserve me not liking her, because there isn't anything she's done on the show that makes me go, ugh, Barbara Kay. But I just feel it inside. So I do feel a little bad about that. But I just want to be myself with you guys. Here's the thing. She could turn me around. I am prejudging her unfairly, probably. I'm just coming clean. I own it. I'm owning it, baby. All right, back to the show. Side note, her good friend Luann, who Barbara has been defending since episode 1, is laughing her ass off at the fact that Barbara is in the fish room. So nice to know that friendship is reciprocated. All right, the next morning they wake up and Patrick, the yoga instructor, has come as per the Countess's request. Luann goes down to do yoga, and Ramona and Sonia join her a little bit later. At one point, Luann is bent over in is it a downward dog? And the guy's behind her, lifting her hips up, and she's stretching and moaning and groaning. And Dorinda comes in the room while Lou is bent over and goes, "Oh my God, Luann, your ass is like 2 firm cherries." Okay. And by the way, that comment is just the beginning of the ongoing sexual harassment that Luann has to endure from Dorinda. Okay, so now it is the tour at Ventfort Hall, which was a Morgan estate. All right, so they get there and they're standing outside for a minute, and Sonia's looking up, and there's a statue out there, and Dorinda said, "Oh, Mrs. Morgan, meet Mrs. Morgan." And Sonia's just kind of beaming, and this is foreshadowing for how Sonia is now getting her Morgan on. They're now touring the house, and I should also say, this poor tour guide, Richard, we meet Richard, and he's smiling and innocent. We've seen this 100 times. Whether it's a chef, a tour guide, whoever this peripheral person is, they start out so hopeful when they meet the housewives. And then by the end of it, Richard is a broken man. He may be smiling and innocent when they walk in, but when those ladies leave that house, Richard will have seen things and may perhaps done things that he may never recover from. It starts right away with Sonia going on and on. He can barely get his spiel out. He can't get a word in edgewise. Sonia is talking about who's cleaning the house, because she lives in a Morgan home. It's just who vacuums here? And oh my God. Richard doesn't live there, Sonia. Anyway, they wind up in one of the bedrooms, and there's a desk with some old letters on it. And then Sonia says just another completely inane thing. I think it was, all the Morgan family writes letters to each other. My daughter writes letters. What? Still? All the Morgan family just writes letters? You mean today, still in 2019? Why? I literally do not think it is computing in Sonia's brain that this house she's in right now was preserved historically. I don't know if she thinks she's just touring a house where somebody lives and that's their stuff and they were just in the middle of writing letters. Okay, I guess she does understand, because Dorinda touches one of the letters and lifts it up. In the confession cam, Sonia said, "Those letters should be under plexiglass. Like the Guggenheim Bible." I'm sorry, that's just how I feel. But I don't disagree with her. Also, what made Dorinda think it was okay to touch that stuff? Dorinda is the reason why these places have to have velvet ropes across certain things, where you can just sometimes you can just look into a room, you can't even walk in there. Anyway, basically Sonia has taken over the tour now. Oh, do you see the claw feet on that chair? Yes, it's all the Addams and Morgan family stuff. I have that in my house. Okay. But she's going deep. In fact, to the confessional, Ramona said, when Sonia walked into this room, she was fine, happy-go-lucky, laughing, smiling. Now she's in this whole Morgan zone. The longer she stays in this room, she's gonna spiral. Back at Dorinda's house, the weather has turned warm, so they're gonna go out and sun themselves. Oh my God, this place is beautiful. The whole area where her pool is, and there's like these fountains that jet over the pool, and it is palatial. It's really pretty. Dorinda is saying in the confessional how, the ladies never get to see this time of year. We always come at Christmas, and the pool, everything is closed down, and it's cold and all that. But if this is October, where are the Berkshires, Massachusetts? Isn't October still pretty cold? It must have been like a fluky kind of a warm day, because they're in bathing suits outside. So inside the house, Luann is getting ready for her massage, because that was the other request. And Dorinda said, can I talk to you for a minute? They sit down, and she gives what I think was a pretty heartfelt apology. She admits that she said things, she can't take them back because they were in the past, but she does regret it. And that she said it out of anger, and it kind of snowballed from there. So I think she admitted to a lot. Luann accepted her apology, appreciated her saying it. I think in the confessional, Luann said, I'm just happy she's finally owning it. Okay, but I think there might be a few things that Luann could own as well. I don't think she thinks she did one single thing wrong. Dorinda should not hold her breath waiting for an apology. I don't think she is, but I'm just saying, there ain't one coming. So after that, Dorinda goes outside with the others, and as Luann's going to get her massage, Ramona grabs her, and she's like, so what happened? And she tells her that Dorinda apologized to her, and they're good. She thinks it was very sincere, and she accepted it, and they're in a good place. So Ramona's like, oh, good. So Ramona goes out and tells the other two, Tinsley and Sonia. Everyone is on board with being happy that Dorinda and Luann have buried the hatchet, and they're going to do whatever they can to facilitate their friendship staying good. Sonia's like, oh, great. Let's just keep being their cheerleaders. But, when Barbara gets here and she starts sounding like a broken record, and Ramona goes, well, you're going to have to deal with Barbara because I don't know her that well. So now Babs arrives. She's getting a house tour from Dorinda. Oh, this is great. Oh, I love the crown molding. Oh, the railings are gorgeous. Until they get to the fish room. They walk in, and Barbara's like, oh, what the hell are those? And Dorinda's like, oh, you don't like the fish either? And she goes, oh, I was shocked because, we're going along, everything's nice, and then, whoa, it doesn't exactly go with a mountain-esque theme. And Dorinda goes, well, it's a boys' room. Well, okay. It's not that it's a boys' room that's offensive. To me, it's the horrible color scheme and the giant taxidermied fish. Why so many? A few of you guys have suggested that it might be something to honor Richard. And I thought that was a good thought because you could absolutely be right about that. Dorinda is extremely sentimental about Richard. I believe he is the love of her life. And maybe he was an avid fisherman. Maybe there's a fish that he caught. It's entirely possible. But I also think she could honor him with just one of the fish. Maybe in a den. Listen, I'm not a home decorator or anything, but I think the colors are horrible. The bedspread and wall color, they're all in the same blue-green family, but I do think they're kind of clashy and ugly together. And the fish, I feel like the scale of the fish is wrong for that room. Like, these fish are so huge, and the room is too small. The wall's too short, the room is too small to house these giant, 200-pound fish. If you guys are right and it's to honor Richard, let's honor Richard by putting his giant fish in a big room. A study, a den, something like that. I think that would show them off much better than jamming them all on an 8-foot wall. Just saying. I also don't even mind if she wants to have a boys' room in her house. That's okay too. But not those colors and not those giant fish. Sorry, I am being way too feisty today because I got 12 pages to go through, so no more tangents for me. All right, so now in the confessional, Dorinda supposes that Luann has given Barbara a little heads up. Because clearly she's just repeating everything Luann said verbatim about what she thinks of my $250,000 room. Okay, so you just cut the value of the room in half because last week those rooms were $500,000. So that's a step in the right direction that we're now down to $250,000. But unless those fish are stuffed with bars of gold, that ain't no $250,000 room. Dorinda could give me $250 and I could make that room 10 times better. Paint, a duvet cover, new sheets, remove the fish. Done. Anyway, it's so funny. Dorinda goes, well, you're staying here. And Barbara goes, I'm staying in the fish room? You're staying in the fish room. Well, I'm going to have to put something over that because that's going to be kind of scary at night. And she's pointing to the shark or whatever. Dorinda goes, no, you don't. You don't want to touch that because that's like $12,000. Also, let me just say this. If my friend had a fish room like that and put me in that room, I wouldn't say a word. Because you're just in the room to sleep anyway. In the dark, you don't know what's on the wall. Oh, I don't know. Do you guys remember? I think last year when they were there for Christmas, they put a little Santa hat on that fish. So while Luann is getting a massage inside, the others are out by the pool. And it's a very interesting dynamic. Ramona and Dorinda are sitting like with their feet in the hot tub. And then about, 30 feet away, Sonia and Barbara are standing about this close to each other. Barbara's talking to her, this smiling, and like, are they going to make out? I don't know. I think Barbara saw her make out with that stranger at her paper magazine party and is hoping that she will be next. That's just my guess. They're holding hands and they're talking like they're just so close to one another. It's weird. So their conversation is, Barbara is nervous because the last time she saw Dorinda, she threw her out of her apartment. And now that she's in Dorinda's home, she's like, I'm afraid to unpack and, I need to make my exit. Again, whole time they're holding hands and doing weird body movements. And while that's happening, Dorinda and Ramona are trashing Barbara, just trashing her. What is she wearing? What's with those boots? Yeah, well, at least it's not a wrap dress. Yeah, well, I'll give her that. It's not a wrap dress. And look at that belly shirt, showing her belly. My daughter doesn't even do that. Nothing like a frenemy. Again, because I said they're only 20, 30 feet away from each other, Dorinda hears them talking about the shark room. I feel like Dorinda, this is like the last straw for her. She goes, you know what? You're gonna be fine. You'll be okay. Don't worry. It's okay. You're fine. And she's pissed, and I don't blame her. These women are atrocious. Okay, next, Bethany arrives. And good God, she's a lot. I love you, girl, but wow. She came in like a wrecking ball. Dorinda says hello to her. They go in the house, and Bethany loses it. Just loses it. She's talking a mile a minute as usual. And she's like, yeah, I was in Boston. Blah, blah, blah. And then I went and saw Star is Born. Oh my God, have you seen A Star is Born? I didn't know. I didn't know it was going to end. The pills and the... I sat in the theater for an hour afterward just bawling by myself. I just sat there and... Hello, Bethany. Welcome to my home. And Dorinda is comforting her. And then finally Dorinda tells her how everybody has been about room assignment and how negative everybody has been about the fish room. And Bethany's like, who cares? Who cares? I'll stay in the fish room. Wait, what? I thought the only reason Bethany would even stay there at all is if she could have Hannah's room. Now I'm kind of wondering if that was just Dorinda saying that. And Bethany didn't insist on Hannah's room. I mean, I wouldn't put it past Bethany to do that, but I also wouldn't put it past Dorinda to be like, hell no, I'm saving that for Bethany. And then kind of like put it on Bethany. I don't know. But within, I don't know, 3.5 seconds, Bethany has said, I'll stay in the shark room. I don't care. Anyway, Bethany's not too happy to hear the way Luann has been talking about her behind her back. Again, Bethany is exhausting. Because now she's going off. My hand can't write fast enough everything that she's saying, and my brain doesn't remember it all. But let me just say that within the next minute, there were probably 750,000 words coming out of her mouth. Why would Luann talk behind my back? Why would she say anything about me at all? What gives her the right to do that? She should be saying you're the Lord Jesus Christ. And I don't even know if I believe in that. I'm not Catholic, but I'm just saying, for everything I've done for her, why would she say anything at all? Why would she have anything to say about me whatsoever? Oh, okay. Okay, so now Art Smith shows up out of the blue. Famous chef Art Smith. Come to find out that he has something to do with the Bare Naked Chef. I don't know what the collaboration is there, but he comes with the Bare Naked Chef. Bethany still can't get over the fact that Luann is not bowing at her feet for getting her back into rehab or having that intervention. Although she says, I don't expect anything from that. Like, I didn't do that for praise, but just because I did, well, but okay, clearly you do expect her to praise you for life after that. I love when people complain about someone and say, oh yeah, not that I care. Yeah, you care. By virtue of the fact that you brought it up, tells us that you care. So that's what's happening here. Not that I'm a fan of Luann lately, I'm not, but they're all ridiculous. In the confessional, Bethany said, Luann should be worrying about the room that she's really supposed to be in, not this room. So I guess the scoop is that Luann left rehab 2 weeks early so that she could do her cabaret show. Yeah. Listen, I hope for the best for her. And if she truly has an alcohol addiction, I want her to get better. I don't know. That's not a good sign, right? That she left rehab 2 weeks before the program ended. Now Bethany pulls Barbara aside because Barbara, was the other person at Luann's intervention. And she said, how could Luann say anything about me whatsoever? In any iteration whatsoever, say anything about me. Yeah, you're not mad at all. Barbara goes, I don't think she did. I think it's Sonia. Bethany's like, I don't know. It sounds about right that Luann would say something. In Bethany's confessional, she goes, Barbara is just drinking the Luann Kool-Aid. Now it's just Bethany and Dorinda sitting outside. All the other ladies are inside now getting ready for dinner, I guess. They're talking about, Luann still. Bethany is telling Dorinda that being with Luann is like being back with my mother. It really is. It brings me back to my childhood with my mother. That's how it is with Luann. After Dennis died, we never talked about it, not once. All we talk about is her cabaret show. None of these women really care about anything but themselves, so it shouldn't surprise Bethany. So now Luann comes out because she hasn't seen Bethany yet, and she's like, hello, am I interrupting anything? And Bethany goes, well, yeah, kind of. And she goes, oh, that's fine. I've got my own stuff to deal with in the kitchen. I just came out to say hey. Bethany's like, hey. Side note, what stuff do you have to deal with in the kitchen? You are a guest in Dorinda's home, and she has hired a chef for the evening, so I'm not sure what Luann has to deal with, but it was kind of funny. Oh my God. Then Bethany says what is probably the most ridiculous line of the evening in an evening of ridiculousness. She says, I feel like Dennis's passing has changed me. I'm just chill. The girl who got out of the car and went from 0 to 100 in 2 seconds is chill. Bethany and Dorinda end up saying that Luann is just that friend that you don't go deep with because she lacks self-awareness. It's funny what you can see in other people that you can't see in yourself. I suppose that's true for everybody, but probably 10 times more true of a housewife. That's why we love them. Now dinner is, I guess, close to getting started. Tinsley, Ramona, and Barbara are in the dining room, and they're looking at the place settings and deciding who they want to sit next to, even though there are place cards with their names. Barbara goes, I want to sit here. Who's sitting here? Ramona goes, Dorinda. Barbara, at the head of the table? And Ramona goes, yeah, she's the host. This is her house. And Barbara goes, oh, yeah, I guess so. Even Tinsley told Barbara to take it down a notch. She did. Oh, God. It's funny. Now we are up in Bethany/Hannah's room, and Bethany's getting changed. She's putting pajamas on. I guess she's going to wear them to dinner. She loves to be in pajamas. And Sonia is on her bed and drinking. And Barbara comes in. Barbara jumps on the bed. And Sonia is half in the bag and getting feisty. She accuses Barbara of trying to steal Bethany. And by steal, I mean, I believe what she said was, you're trying to Bethany. Sonia is not having it. Then downstairs, Sonia and Tinsley are chanting, "Rosé, all day, Rosé." And in a drunken slur, she tells Tinsley, Barbara's trying to steal Bethany. But Bethany said, no, I'm going to sleep in her bed, not Barbara. Okay, so the bare naked chef. How do I put this? He's kind of cute. I don't know if he's Art Smith's boyfriend. Possibly. Because, like, bear is not B-A-R-E. It's B-E-A-R. So I think he's probably gay. That's neither here nor there. The point is that he's got a fair amount of body hair. And he's naked. Disclaimer, this is just my opinion. To me, if somebody is going to be naked around the food that they are preparing for me, and that's a big if. I'm not even sure I'm in on that. I would prefer them to be well groomed. I'll do a poll question. This will be an easy one. Would you like to have a meal cooked and prepared for you by somebody who's naked? Yes or no? Let me know. The ladies are sitting down to eat now, and the first course is soup. And I should also say that I think Ramona, some of the other ladies aren't like so into this naked guy either, except Bethany. I think Bethany's like, it's fine with me as long as he keeps his balls out of my soup. Everything seems to be fine for right now, except for like Barbara and Sonia, who are still fighting over who's going to sleep with Bethany. You could hear Sonia go, "You're in the fish room." And Barbara goes, "So I don't know. I might sleep with Luann or Bethany." Sonia goes, "No, not Bethany. You come near her tonight and I'm going to punch your face out." Okay, so now Luann takes her jacket off and she's sitting next to Dorinda, who now says, "Oh my God. Oh my God, Luann, your boobs are amazing." At this point, I think Luann has grounds to sue her for sexual harassment because she can't stop commenting about her body. Let's not forget earlier, she compared her ass to 2 firm cherries. So, yeah. Sonia is just hammered. Bethany's trying to get her to drink water. I think everybody now is getting a little concerned. And she picks up Coco, Ramona's dog. She picks Coco up like this, like how somebody would like lift their shirt up, say. This is how she's holding the dog, up here. And I don't know what she's saying, but she's doing something and she's got the dog like that. And Ramona's like, "Don't hold Coco like that." Bethany goes, "Put the dog down." Luann goes, "Sonia, put the dog down. Put the dog down. Put the dog down." Everyone's yelling at her while she's holding this poor dog up. I was afraid we were going to have another dog gate. Anyway, Dorinda and Luann go outside for a cigarette. And while they're gone, Sonia starts talking about how Dorinda was touching the Morgan letters. Yeah, back to that. And then she yells across the table, "You don't touch those letters!" Then she starts crying hard. And it's to be continued. Yeah. That's where we end. Ending on a high note. I'm wondering how the bare naked chef is feeling at this point. He's only managed to get the soup out. Or Art Smith, for that matter. Do you think Art Smith is in the kitchen right now, wondering at what point his life's trajectory led him to this point right here, right now? Okay, guys, I am at 1 hour and 18 minutes. I do not know how I am going to edit this down to 30 minutes or less, but I'm going to try. Okay, thanks for hanging in there with me because this was probably a long one. Subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Love to hear from you guys. I'll be right back here next Wednesday at 1 p.m. Central Time for the next recap of The Real Housewives of New York City. Bye-bye.